Shop smart, shop S-smart.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Goodstuff.
Yes, sir.
I am your host, DeathMetalHero, and with me is one of my good friends in this scene, Mr. John Hervey. How you doing, brother?
Doing well, my brother Luke. How are you, man?
I'm doing good. As I was telling you backstage, I just got back from doing Ancient City Comic Con, and I am creatively just energized, my friend. And I get to hang out and talk with you this evening about this awesome book you got. I mean, life is good, man. Life is good.
Man,
how are you?
Say that, man. I'm doing well. I'm jazzed too, man. I was just like you said, and we were talking about backstage. I'm like, you know, just having friends on the scene for a few years now. It's like, to me, this is just like, these are like homecomings, man. Just getting to hang out with my buddies, getting to talk about the stuff that we love. Man, you can't even beat that.
No,
it's like a reward in and of itself.
It really is, man. You know, and to have such cool friends that you've known for so long. I mean, I really do miss the days of being able to jump on Writing Pros and like just hang out and talk about storytelling and world building. And, you know, I mean, granted, we would often go on tangents and sometimes we wouldn't stay on topic, but damn, those were fun shows, man.
Jason and I were just talking about that last night. I mean, it's like, that show was so flipping fun, and you just didn't know where the conversation was going to go.
Yep. And poor Shay. She tried to keep the the conversation on track, and we all just kind of went wherever. But the conversations were always great. Yeah, they were always great. And I mean, we usually worked back around to the point, but
kind of like a toilet bowl.
Yeah. But, you know, it's amazing to see, you know, where everybody's gone from there, how everybody has grown and expanded what they do, you know, built their audience, built their empires, I guess, for lack of a better term, you know, built up what they're doing and making good books, man. You know, it's so cool to see how everybody is just progressing, growing, becoming better. I mean, dude, when we first started kicking it, I mean, you were just kind of really getting back into drawing, period. I mean, you were just kind of starting to get the pencil and the pen flowing again, and now look at you, man. Yeah, 3 years later, man, I'm actually working on a book.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm penciling a book, man. Yeah, and like I was saying backstage, this is what I've always wanted to do. This has been my lifelong dream to make comics. And I'm here. I got to sit on a panel talking about making independent comics. You know,
so awesome.
It blows my mind, man. I am wicked happy to be here. So thankful for all of the cool people I know, all of the cool people that have helped me along the way, all the cool people I've gotten to interact with and gotten to know. You know, so yeah, man, I'm right there with you. It's this scene is fucking amazing. You know, all the cool people that I've gotten the chance to interact with. Speaking of cool people, we got this beautiful lady in the chat. Hi, Feline. Hi, Flying Feline. Skull, that's beautiful. Right. That's my girl. That's right.
Cool people in cool places.
That's right, man. Oh, yeah. Speaking of cool people in cool places, I got to kick it with Luke Stone at the convention, like I was saying. You know, he's good peeps, man. I'm wicked proud of him. You know, had all the health issues and whatnot, and he got back in the saddle, and then now he's got Fund My Comic, man.
I know. Yeah. I'm launching my next campaign on there. Yes. You know, I'm gonna do that. I mean, I was a hair away from doing it on this campaign, and I just chickened out just because I was like, oh man, you know, I've got people already following me on Indiegogo, but you know what? It's not about the platform, man. Not like that. Like Indiegogo isn't bringing me anything. You know, it's like these are all my friends. This is all the community. You know, so I was kind of like, I kind of wish I had launched it there on Fund My Comic. Luke is my dude. I said, but I'm gonna rectify that the next campaign.
Absolutely, man. Well, and it was just getting started. It's just getting started, and it's getting bigger. I don't know if you saw Luke's tweet about how somebody came up to his table and was looking at his books and said, "Hey, man, you should check out Fund My Comic to fund your next comic book." Oh yeah, yeah. And so
Awesome.
So Luke, I saw that tweet from Luke, but before that, like this dude had come up to the table at Shattermare and he was like, "Yeah, man, I was over there at checking out Hybrids." I was like, "Yeah, Luke Stone's book," and he's like, "Yeah, man," and I told him to check out Fund My Comic, and I was like, "Oh yeah." And he's like, "Yeah, I didn't know that was that Luke Stone." And then I saw Luke's tweet, and I went over there and talked to him the next day, and I was like, "Dude, that just cracked me up. It made me so happy, and that means word's getting out. People are getting the idea, man, and it's getting traction, and I can't wait to see where it's going to be by this time next year." I mean, they've been live for what, 5 months or something like that, I think Luke Stone said.
That sounds right.
And they've already got so many different campaigns up on that site, and it's easy to find, and you can back multiple campaigns with one shopping cart.
There you go.
It's incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. And just the way he set up the platform too, I really appreciate it. It's funny because so the last book I backed, what's Craig's book off of Fund My Comic. And that was the first time I'd actually bought a book.
Soltak?
Yeah, Soltak.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, that's a great book.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that.
I really enjoyed that one. He did, man, you can tell he really has a lot of love for that story. And his artist is really good.
His artist is phenomenal.
Really beautiful pages, man. Yeah.
I was like,
you're gonna love it, man.
I was like, this is a no-brainer. And just 100%. even the way that the platform works, and kind of opting in, into paying the platform, I really appreciated it. I was like, you know what, that's great, because I was when I backed the last Kill Journal, the Finch Diaries one.
Oh yeah, I backed that as well.
So I was trying, with no success. It was he launched it on Bancroft's channel. I was trying to be number one, ended up being like number 6. Because there's dudes that they do that.
Man, they hover over that. Alex VRB, man, that dude every time, it's like he's got like an auto refresh. Yeah. For when the camera he's got something else going on, because when we launched this Black Tiger, he was number 1, and he basically put in the chat, he's like, I'm playing the video game. And I was like, dang. I wonder if he set up like some kind of script or something.
Dude, he's got something going on, man. He's got the
We're on to you, Alex.
AI. Yeah. He's got the machines working for him or something. But going back to when I was getting Soltak, I was like, I really liked just the experience on Fund My Comic, because when I did that last Indiegogo, I was rushing, and I didn't notice. And they got you with the tip. Golly, I didn't notice they threw a tip in for themselves.
Yeah, like $15 too.
No, I was, because when it showed what my total was, I was like,
hold on a minute.
I was like, is the shipping as much as the book?
Right?
You know what I'm saying?
No, Indiegogo just slips that extra little in there.
$15. I was like, what the?
Yeah.
That's
that unfortunately that happens. That'll happen, man. That happened to me once. And once bit, twice shy. Ever since then, I'm always keep an eye on that, man.
Flipping evil, dude.
It really is. It's shady as all hell, man.
Yeah.
That is not how you take care of a customer base. But I mean, Indiegogo has been doing all kinds of shit with their shadow banning. They'll be happy to take the money from the people, but they're not going to provide the service that, the whole reason why you get on a site, so you can get, trending on the algorithm, so you get seen by people that aren't necessarily just in your audience.
They don't help.
Yeah.
They don't help with broadening your audience. So I was like, well, at that point, then there's really no reason for me to do another campaign on that platform on a going forward basis. The reason why I stayed getting into that benefit.
Yeah. And that's the reason why a lot of people stayed on the platform, is because, oh, I've got a built-in audience here, and they promote it, and there's more people going through here. But with Fund My Comic, this is for comic books. It's for tabletop games and magazines and all of this nerd culture stuff, the stuff that we love. That's what it's for. It's not. I mean, Indiegogo started out as like a technology prototyping website. So people could get funded for, prototypes. Yeah. I mean, I backed one technology Indiegogo, and I never got it.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, and it was like a $125, $150 like hybrid drive, USB-C. You could plug it in. It had 2 terabytes of space on it, but was also like a hub. Oh, yeah, never got it. And they're now selling them, on their website for a little over the price that I paid for it. And I'm like, hi, where the hell's my piece of technology?
Right.
I messaged. Reached out to him, messaged, and there's just no way to get my money back. I'm fucked.
That's absurd.
It really is, man. Absurd. It really is. And Indiegogo doesn't care. They've got a disclaimer that says, crowdfunding is not shopping. Yeah. So you are taking a risk, basically, and it's, just enough to cover their ass.
Yeah, so, it's like what idiots. I mean, they make the product. It's not even like, well, you know what? We never even got across the finish line. They make the product, and they don't honor those that pre-funded them to be able to do what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's
dishonorable as all hell, man.
Absolutely, that's trash.
So yeah, I would much prefer to back comics on Fund My Comic. I would much prefer to send my money to a site that actually cares about the customers and the creators that are using it. That's but yeah. Super proud of Luke Stone, and we're going to be launching the book that I'm doing with Shattermare Comics on Fund My Comic.
That's dope. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah.
So are you reading anything right now?
You guys have an ETA for that?
Sometime next year. I'm going to be on Pete Samedi's Comic Book Radio on October 6th. Okay. And we're going to have an email sign-up list at that time. And I'm going to have the first 5 pages fully inked in black and white to show off on the show. So yeah, man, I'm so excited. Yeah. Like I'll give you a little preview once we're done, so you can see what I'm working on.
Yes, sir.
But what you reading right now, man? You reading anything good? Anything tickling your fancy right now?
Yes.
Comic-wise, book-wise?
What I recently received. I received Groken 1 and 2.
Nice.
And it has that like European comic feel to it, which I love, like the old school kind of European comic feel to it.
Yeah, dude.
I love it, man. I know.
Kenneth is just amazing, man. That dude's such an artistic beast. It's ridiculous.
Exactly. Yeah. And then I also picked up. I got Lady Satan and Ed Gein. So
I got my Lady Satan book from Lucifer Storm. I got to reach out to him and see if he wants to come on for a What's in the Box.
Ooh,
I'm super excited, man. I was we were waiting for that book for a little bit, but I mean, life happens, shit happens,
Exactly.
And I definitely, excellent. I got Terror in the Trenches a couple weeks back, and I had Vaughn on to talk about it, and I read it, and holy shit, man! Actually, I got both Terror in the Trenches and Psycho Killers, and Vaughn is just on fire, man. That dude is just firing on all cylinders. Both those books were so damn good. Yeah. I wore my Terror in the Trenches shirt under my battle vest at the convention.
I saw that picture. Yeah. I saw that picture. I was like, look at
Gotta represent my people, man.
Look at my man representing.
Yeah, man. Oh, I mean, the shirt's so cool, and it fits perfectly with my battle vest. Vaughn always designs stuff that like absolutely fits in with my wardrobe.
Yeah.
Always, man. So it's.
I love his artistic style too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we were going over the character designs for Terror in the Trenches on the episode, and yeah, I love the style that he's got. It's very very old school indie comics. You know,
Yes.
it's got that indie comics vibe from like the early '90s that I fucking love.
Which I love.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yo, we got an Oliver in the chat. What's up, brother? Good to see you, dude. Good to see you.
656 represent.
Yeah. They had a really cool show last night talking about aliens, the alien from Mexico, you know, that they're that was some funny shit. If you guys get a chance, go.
Is that a cryptidnal? Is that a cryptid? Oliver?
Right. I mean, it might be. Apparently it's cake, according to the internet.
Exactly.
But yeah, if you guys get a chance, go watch that replay. That was some funny shit. That was a good show that they did.
I gotta check that out then.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
They're making some rock comics. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. Cryptidinals is fucking fantastic. Are you kidding?
Fire.
And they got new stuff coming out as well. Yeah, all kinds of cool stuff going on. Three leches cake. Yeah, to be exact. Yeah, the video shows like somebody cutting into the face and then slicing off a piece, and you know it's cake. Yeah,
it's cake.
Hilarious, man. So let's see. What else was I going to say? I don't know. There was another book that I got recently that I was going to mention. I can't remember. At any rate,
I'll tell you what I have been reading though. I've also been reading. It's funny. I'm buying graphic novels and stuff that I already own because the other stuff that I own is like so raggedy I can't read through it anymore. Like none of my books are in collector shape. You know, all of my stuff has been read. So I've been picking up, even though it's out of print, the John Byrne Visionaries Fantastic Four. So basically it's the John Byrne run on the Fantastic Four. I have it pretty much, you know, in my floppy form, but they're so worn, you know. So I got to pick up the graphic novels. So I was just like, man, I forgot how much I enjoyed that story.
Well loved.
My books are all well loved. Oh man.
Well, dude, I totally relate. As a matter of fact, one that I keep right here behind me that is definitely well loved.
Oh, look at that baby! Look at that beauty.
Know.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
But I mean, you know, the inside, man, you get forewords from Stan Lee at the beginning of each thing, and it tells about, like, you know, he tells the story about the creation of. And, you know, I read this stuff over and over and over again. Yeah. You know, you get the origin story, and then you get, you know, stories further on down the road, you know, when the Silver Surfer strikes, you know. Yeah, man. So it's got
first few issues of the Fantastic Four are crazy because they're all over the place. Yeah. I mean, they're in space, they're underground, I'm like, they're everywhere. You know, so I never got that book, kind of envious. But my other book that looks like that is Son of Origins.
Nice.
So Marvel Son of Origins. So it's basically they're a little bit further down the road, but it tells you like stories of, you know, classic Shellhead, Iron Man, you know, Spider-Man, you know. So you know, it was, I love that, you know, X-Men, you know, not the Uncanny X-Men, but the original X-Men. Yeah. You know, and just, man, you read those stories and you're just like, comics are the greatest, man.
Yeah. I mean, it was about the adventure. It was about the fantasy, man. It was about the, you know, the storytelling, you know, the escapism.
Absolutely.
You're escaping from reality into this fantasy, and you get to enjoy it. You know, you've got the good versus evil. You've got, you know, the heroes triumphant. You know, they overcome the obstacles to win the day. You know, you feel good after reading stuff like that.
Absolutely.
And, you know, the artists back then, I mean, they were so talented at telling the story. You know, you could clearly see what was going on, because Fantastic Four was actually one of the first books that my dad got me. Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, and Batman were the first 3 comics that my dad got me. And I couldn't read at 3 years old. You know, my mom was teaching me how to read with flashcards, but I could tell what was going on because of the pictures. You know, the artists were so good at what they did, you could tell what was happening just by looking at the pictures. I do remember the distinct moment when I finally learned how to read, and it's just like this cloud moved away from all of the words, and I could understand what the thing was saying to read. I could understand, and it added so much to the dynamic. You know, I understood the family dynamic between the Fantastic Four. I understood Peter Parker's problems about, you know, rent and all this stuff. You know, and, you know, Batman, you know, talking to Robin, or, you know, talking to Two-Face. As a matter of fact, I think one of the first Batman comic my dad got me is, I still see it clearly. It's a yellow cover with a big silver ball coming down on Two-Face and Batman and Robin. I think it was a New Adventures of Batman and Robin. I can't remember the number, but I distinctly remember that cover, and really? I remember just like the cloud moving away, and I was able to read. And from then on, man, it was a love affair with reading. You know, couldn't get enough.
I'm like you. I mean, you know, if it weren't for comics, I probably wouldn't have been reading. That's right. My mom realized that I enjoyed it as a medium. So like I picked up the books first. You know, you go through the pictures, and I realized, man, if I want to know the other 15% of what's going on here, the deep 15%, I'm gonna have to actually read this. Yep. And then I started reading, but I was using a dictionary. It sounds ridiculous, but these dudes were auteurs, man. I mean, it's like they would write. I can't tell you how much of my vocabulary I picked up reading comics.
Yes, dude, 100%. Same here. You know, I honestly, especially Claremont stuff. Like reading Chris Claremont stuff, like he would use big words just because that's part of his vocabulary. That's part of what, you know, how he talks. So he would put those words in there, and you would have to go look them up in the dictionary, but you never forgot those words afterwards.
No,
you know, they are permanently in your brain.
You remember them in the context of it. I mean, even some of the adjectives, I had no idea what uncanny meant. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I was like,
totally.
I was like, the uncanny X-Men. What does that mean?
Yep.
I think I learned what invincible meant, because the invincible Iron Man.
Yep.
You know, I mean, you're like, I mean, comics were they were such a seminal part of my like childhood, you know, and such a great part of just the escapism, you know, and that's the reason why comics are just so near and dear to my heart. Is like, you know, I just feel like, you know, I feel like I'm transported. You know, and I think I lost that for a long time just because the comics got so bad. But this whole scene is really, and that's why I love supporting indie books, because, you know, I can always feel the love. I can feel the passion that people have when they're writing books, and you can tell when somebody doesn't care about stuff they're writing about. I'm like, how can I care more than the people that are producing the books? I'm like, something's wrong. That's when I stopped collecting mainstream books. I was like, I care about these characters more than the company and the people that are creating the books. That's problematic. I can no longer follow this.
Well, it kind of hurts your heart, you know, because these characters mean so much to you. They've essentially been like friends to you. I mean, I don't know if you've ever watched Claremont's X-Men, the documentary they did about it, but he would have like full-grown adults come up to him and say, hey, you know, I really appreciate your writing. These feel like friends. You know, I care about what's happening to these characters, you know, and that's the way it should be. You know, Claremont was passionate about writing those X-Men. They were real people to him, and therefore they were real people to the audience as well. And that's crucial. If you don't have that, then you're not going to pull that audience in. You're not going to keep them there.
Exactly. And and you're doing things that people actually care about. It's funny. I was telling a story, like, you know how you remember where you were when you read certain comics. So I was at the point when I really started collecting, I was collecting Avengers, because at that time, unbeknownst to me, I mean, the artist rotation on that were John Byrne and George Perez. So I mean, come on, no brainer.
Yeah.
My buddy Herb Dean was actually a UFC ref. He was collecting Daredevil. I was sitting on his brother's bunk bed when I read The Death of Elektra.
Oh, wow.
I will never forget that.
Man, talk about an impactful book, especially when you're young.
Gosh.
Holy shit,
I mean,
man.
It blew my mind, and I was just like, this can't be happening. Because like it was literally one of those things where, like, my friend was like, because we would swap comics. He's like, just come to my house and read this. I was like, well, you know, what's going on? He's like, he wouldn't even tell me anything about it. And it was like, he read it. I read it, and then we both just kind of sat there and mourned. We were just like, oh. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
I'll tell you another like similar story. Like when I was in middle school, we ended up taking a class trip to New York. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're in New York, and two, like one truly historic, but the other one was historic to me. So we're in New York, and while we were there, the news broke that I just blanked on the Marvin Gaye, that Marvin Gaye had been killed.
Oh wow.
So the news broke that Marvin Gaye had been killed.
Yeah.
And then literally like that same evening, we're in a hotel, and my buddy had gone down and he had picked up some comics. And all he did was give me Alpha Flight. And if you know Alpha Flight, it was the Alpha Flight cover where it showed like a target on the faces of all the characters. Says one of these characters will die.
Yeah.
And it was Vindicator.
Yeah.
He ended up blowing up the end. And I was just like, I felt like two horrific historical moments that happened. I was like, Marvin Gaye died and Vindicator? This is the worst trip ever, man. You know,
this sucks.
This sucks.
Yeah. I mean, and see, that's the power of these books, man. That's the power of these stories. You know, they impact you. They mean something, you know, because you care. And the reason why you care is because the writers cared. They had enough passion, and it came through. It always comes through. The creativity, the passion for what you're doing always comes through. The audience will always be able to pick up on it. You know, even if they don't know what it is, like the lack of passion, they will pick up on it, and they'll be like, yeah, that's why this is not so great. But you know, if there's a lot of passion there and a good story, they will absolutely pick up on it, and they'll be like, this is amazing. You know, because that energy is infectious. You know? And
it's like, I can remember when I started reading, and I was like, man, I feel like these guys are mocking comics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was just like, what the heck is this? What is going on?
Yeah. Why are you even here if you're,
Why are you even writing comics if you hate comics? You know how many of us would jump at the opportunity to do this? And, you know,
it doesn't matter.
Inundated with folks that were, you know, I guess thought they were too good for comics. Comics was a stepping stone, whatever. And all of a sudden, you know, they're mocking everything about comics. You know, oh, you know, these guys are, you know, fighting crime in underwear. I'm like, yeah, because that's how you fight crime. That's how you do it.
Exactly. Don't need baggy clothes getting in your way, you know. Plus, they look damn good doing it.
That's right. That's how you do it. There's nothing crazy about that.
Yeah.
You know, me and my cousin.
What's up, Sugar Chris? Welcome. And we got Old Dirty Fatty. He says, when you were little, did you think, as a little kid, did you think the Hulk was saying punny when he was saying puny? Yeah, a couple of times. You know,
I used to love those Sal Buscema Hulks.
Oh, man. Dude, Sal and Big John, talk about two absolute legends in the industry, man. Yeah. Speaking of legends, today is actually, I think, marks the anniversary of Joe Kubert's death.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I saw that on Instagram today, and I actually posted a little story in 2011. I was at the Boston Comic-Con. I was living up in Dover, New Hampshire, and my wife at the time, we got on the train and we rode down to Boston, hopped a cab over to the convention center, and we got to hang out for, you know, I got to be there just for that day. And Joe Kubert wasn't even scheduled to be there that day. And, you know, I'm looking around at the tables and whatnot and just, you know, vibing with the whole comics convention. And I look over at the table and I'm like, why is George Romero? Oh, my God, that's Joe Kubert. Like, he looked like George Romero. And I was like, oh, my God, that's Joe Kubert. And there's nobody at his table? Yeah. I walked over there and I just kind of knelt down in front of his table and just kind of leaned on the table and I got to talk to him uninterrupted for 45 minutes.
That's amazing.
45 minutes just picking Joe Kubert's brain, talking to
Yeah.
him about comics and you know what it was like to work back then, and like starting the school, and you know having his kids following his footsteps. I mean, it was just one of the most amazing experiences I have ever had at a convention, and it's one of my most treasured memories. Seriously. So yeah, I got to post about that today, man. Yeah, it was incredible, dude. And he wasn't even supposed to be there that day. You know, he just happened to show up because he didn't have to go do something else, and he was just sitting there smiling, just watching people walk by. You know, Frank Quitely was at the other end of the hall, so like there was a huge crowd at the other end of the hall, and nobody in front of his table. And I got lucky. I got to go talk to him for 45 minutes, and then people realized that he was there, and then a line started forming.
Then it was like, yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah. But such an amazing experience, man.
You can't beat that with a bat.
No,
you know?
Not at all, man. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. It was amazing. What's up, Mad Ruth? Good to see you, brother.
Ruth. What's up?
Welcome.
I was just telling them about when I backed your book and the experience on Fund My Comic. Definitely. I mean,
yeah, man.
I'm looking forward to getting that book and Fund My Comic. I was just saying,
you're gonna enjoy it, dude.
It's a great platform.
It really is, and yeah, you're definitely gonna enjoy that book.
I'm looking forward.
Ruth has put a lot of heart into that.
Yeah.
And we got a Some Person. What's up, Some Person? Good to see you. Thanks for coming to hang out.
Yeah,
and Old Dirty Fatty says, don't forget your friend Herb also had a winning MMA record.
He did have a winning MMA record. So
we talking about Herb Trimp?
No, Herb Dean.
Oh, okay.
So Herb Dean. So the funny thing about Herb is that, you know, Herb always liked fighting. Like, I like to play basketball. Herb liked to fight. You know? So like, I remember sometimes I'd be hanging out with Herb. He's like, hey, he had this game he made up called Body. He's like, hey, let's go some body. Let's go some body. I'm like, so it's like, basically you trade blows, but they're all body blows.
Oh, okay. Right.
So you know, you kind of hit each other. And I was just like, Herb, I don't want to go. I don't want to go body.
You hurt when you hit, man.
I don't want to go body. He's like, you could hit me twice. I'm like, he's like, I'll give you 2 for 1s. You hit me twice, and I'll hit you once. He still beat me.
Well, yeah, because he was into the fight.
I went first. And see, and I knew Herb, so I wasn't even holding back. I hit him in the chest as hard as I could. He said, man, that's a good one. That's a good one. Gave him another one. And he hit me in my solar plexus. I was done. I folded up like paper mache. I was just like,
Yep. Okay, yep, you win, Herb.
I'm
good. Thanks. Great game, buddy. Great game. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. Oh man. It's like the game Bloody Knuckles we used to play as a kid.
Oh man.
You hold your knuckles up and then you have your friend punch them. And then, you do the same thing. And yeah. The fucking dumb shit you do when you're waiting in line to like go to a movie or something like that.
My knuckles, I still have scars on my knuckles from playing Bloody Knuckles, man. You know, I remember one time me and a buddy, we were a different buddy. It wasn't Herb. He would have destroyed me. My friend Jeff, we were in the bathroom, and for some reason, we just decided we skipped a class and we played Bloody Knuckles. So just stupidity on top of stupidity. And then basically, we both have to go to our next class. We're washing our hands in the sink because both of our hands are just bloody, and you can see the white meat. You can see the white meat on our knuckles.
No.
Oh, dude.
No.
A bunch of idiots.
Yeah. Holy shit.
The worst part is like, you got to go home. So it's like we're trying to wrap our hands. Like, you don't want your mom, need to go home and eat dinner.
Right. You're picking up the fork and they notice like your knuckles are all fucked up and they're like, so what have you been doing?
I fell down the stairs. What, backwards? How you scrape your knuckles? And nothing else.
This doesn't quite track here, John. What do you mean you fell down the stairs?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Old Dirty Fatty says, LMAO, be glad he wasn't into knives.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
What? Well, let's take a look at this awesome campaign that you got going on here, man. Black Tiger Hidden Dragon Volume 2, picking right up where that cliffhanger in the last volume ends.
Yes,
so let's take a look at the trailer.
Welcome Beyond Time Travelers. We're excited to bring you the final 88-page chapter in the Black Tiger Hidden Dragon story arc, where the rubber meets the road as Assistant Defense Attorney Jen Fong must balance her career and personal life with her blossoming power and responsibilities as Black Tiger. Jen must survive an insidious game of death and a lethal encounter with the Metahuman Activities Division of the Los Santos Police Department as the city streets run ablaze with criminal activity. Along with pulse-pounding action, this graphic novel reveals inconceivable truths about the Black Tiger power, ranging from ancient Mayan civilization to feudal Japan. Picking up where Volume 1 left off, Jen must go farther, dig deeper, and bring it with more bone-crushing kung fu than ever before in order to save the city of Los Santos and restore the disgraced names of both the Fong family and the Black Tiger. For those of you who are new to Black Tiger, this campaign is a great jumping-on point, as it contains nearly 350 pages of comic book awesomeness with two complete 6-issue Black Tiger story arcs, Legacy of Fury and Hidden Dragon. Start at the beginning with the 172-page epic Black Tiger Legacy of Fury, in which Pak Fong, the prior Black Tiger, has a strained relationship with his children. His daughter Jen is as straight as an arrow assistant DA, whom Pak has inadvertently lost in the shuffle as he focuses his attention on his prodigal son Eric. Unbeknownst to Jen, Eric is the heir to the Black Tiger power, and an enforcer in the Red Dragon Triad, the most brutal gang in Chinatown. When an assassin's bullet ends Pak's life and grants the power to Eric, the family is shattered. Pak's web of secrets drives brother and sister onto separate journeys that collide as the fate of the city and the mantle of the Black Tiger hangs in the balance. All production is 100% complete as we continue our mission to bring you the very best in comic book entertainment. Join us for boundless imagination.
Yeah! That's what I like to hear. Man, and the emotional beats of you know those like that first the Fury, like when their dad dies, like the emotional like heartstrings you pull on that, man. Damn. And then I don't want to spoil nothing, but like the end of that volume right before Hidden Tiger or Hidden Dragon. Holy shit, dude. Yeah, so you got it down, man. And the world that you build with this book, man, I'm loving it. You know, just like the way you weave the superhumans in, and you've got just the way you've built Los Santos. It's very cool, man. I like it. I like it a lot.
I appreciate that, and you get to see more of kind of that ecosystem in this. But like, don't get me wrong, this version, it's like, I mean, you're fundamentally into issues 10, 11, and 12 of Black Tiger. Yeah. You're looking at it as like a contiguous story. So, I mean, it's like you've got foundation for a lot of characters. So this story just moves, so it's like you get to see a lot more of the 5 Fingers of Death. You get to see Black Tiger. You get to see more of kind of this metahuman insurgence that's going on in the city.
That's going to be fun to see.
You get to learn more about the cops and how they're kind of privatized. So they've got private funds, which is how they're getting the gear to be able to take on metahumans. But there's everything has a cost to it, man.
Oh, of course, of course.
So it really starts rolling, in this graphic novel. So I mean, and me, on top of that, I'm a big fan of fight choreography in books.
Yeah, that comes through in the pages. That definitely comes through in the pages. I really enjoy the fight scenes in both of these books.
I like to
Rod does a great job.
Oh, Rod is amazing. Yeah. And the thing is, he just continues to step his game up. I mean,
I agree.
The artwork. I mean, he's always provided great artwork, and I love, Legacy of Fury. I love Volume 1 of Hidden Dragon. This volume is just on the next level. I'm just like, my goodness, this guy.
Yeah, he's incredible, man, and you can see over the course of it just like how things get better, like things tighten up, the storytelling, the choreography. I mean, figure work. I mean, it's really cool to watch him level up going along in the book, man. you know, because you got a great story and great artwork. You know, it's that perfect amalgamation of what we love about comics, man.
That's what it is, man. And you know, it's funny because I've really gone, I'd say, a full 360 degrees when it comes to comics. I mean, I already told you that, like, comics, that was my first medium. That was the first medium that I ever loved. You know, it got me into reading. And then, you know, from there, you go on to read a lot of other things and get interested in other media. And it's all, you know, this whole thing of being able to see some of your favorite heroes being brought to life, I totally enjoy that. But I've come all the way back around. I mean, it's like comics, it's the greatest form of left brain, right brain entertainment there is. Because it's not just a passive activity, because you're reading. And the thing is, when you're reading, you have your own idea of how these characters sound. You're filling in the spaces in between the panels. So it's like you've got these frames, you know, but there's hundreds of frames between each panel, and you're just you're populating all that stuff in your mind.
Yes.
And,
yes.
You know, it's not a passive activity reading a comic, but it's still very, you got the left brain and the right brain at work when you're reading comics, and it gets no better.
Yeah. And when it's firing on all cylinders, it really just kind of invites you. It pulls you in, like, be involved, think about this, you know. And when you're reading from panel to panel, you can't help but, you know, be involved in it, because you have to think about, like, how does this panel connect to this panel, you know, and your brain stitches it together and it tells that story. And when it's flowing, man, you're watching a movie, but you're looking at gorgeous artwork, and you can pause at any time and appreciate, you know, the art on the page, you know, appreciate the way this is shot, the way it's set up, you know, the shadows here, the way this figure is, how badass this character looks in this panel, you know. Right. Yep.
That's the greatest.
And this book is firing on all cylinders, man. I fucking dig the fucking hell out of this book, man. I love it. I love it, and I'm really excited about this next one.
I appreciate it.
And you got some great previews on this page. Y'all need to go check this out. Go hit that link.
I may be able to give you a preview of something that no one has ever seen.
Ooh.
So the Rini cover, that's black and white there.
Yeah.
I just got the colors for it.
Oh shit. Let me scroll down. Look at this gorgeous artwork. Holy shit, look at this page. Everybody, I just want you to stop and appreciate this right here. The balance of black and white, the layout. I mean, this is fucking cool.
You know what I'm considering doing? I'm considering maybe doing like some kind of a compendium book that's all black and white. So you get maybe getting all 350 pages, like both story arcs, just in a black and white, maybe you know, because this is like 100-pound paper, so it doesn't need to be, you know, a little bit lower stock on the paper, make the book a little bit cheaper, but just to give people, because the colors are awesome, but the black and whites are so dope, you know, and it's like sometimes I'd like to just give people, it's like, look at the line art on this thing.
Yeah.
Look at the line.
Well, see, I'm of the opinion that each part of the artwork should stand on its own. You know, the black and white line work should stand on its own, and it should be a complete piece in and of itself. And it should be readable. It should be clear. You should be able to, you know, take this to print.
Absolutely.
But then you bring the colors in, and it adds another layer to it. It adds another dimension to it. You know, it doesn't finish it out because it was already finished, but it adds to it. You know, it's that amalgamation, like I said, it comes together, and it makes it so much more. I guess the proper word would be gestalt. You know,
exactly.
The sum is greater than the whole of its parts.
That's probably the best word. The best analogy I've been able to give, and I probably should use that word, is like forming Voltron.
Yeah, 100%.
Each of the lions are awesome, but combined, they're way more powerful when they form Voltron. It's like, and when you do comics right, it's like you're forming Voltron.
100%, dude. I wholeheartly agree. That is a great analogy for it. Thank you, Feline. I appreciate you posting that link. And so I see you've got. I mean, the book's almost done. It looks like.
Yeah.
Like the line art all done, colors are almost 70% done. Damn.
Actually, more now. I need to update all that. I
Yeah.
need to update some of those. But yeah, so I mean, it's like, and like I told you, I literally just got the colored page of Reenie's cover.
That is a pretty badass looking cover right there.
Yeah, and the black and whites are awesome.
Tigress ready to throw down, ready to kick some ass. Fuck the names.
Hey, you know what I mean?
Yep. She's here to kick ass and chew bubble gum. Is she all out of gum?
All out of bubble gum. Here, I'll give you
what's up, Dean? Good to see you, man. Thanks for coming to hang out.
Here, I'll give you an exclusive on that. Oh. This is the first ever. Reenie hasn't even seen it colored because it literally just came through.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That's right, sugar. Exclusive.
Yeah. Exclusive, baby. Exclusive
on new book. Who did this?
Woo!
That is beautiful, man. That turned out great.
Yeah.
Who colored it? Is it her usual colorist?
No. It's a guy that so the dude that colored the Hidden Dragon Volume 1 cover that Rod drew.
Oh, okay.
The one, the front and back cover. He goes by Articida. So like Articide. Articida 1. His name is Charles.
The one that did this cover and
that's one on the back. The one who did the back cover.
Yeah.
His name is Articida 1. That's what he goes by. And he's a guy that definitely needs to be getting more work.
I mean, those colors are great, man.
Yeah.
Nice and subtle. I love the background, like the sky, and like the sun just peeking up over her shoulder like that.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like she's kind of been fighting all night, and she's still ready to kick some more ass.
She's like, I got more in the tank.
Let's go. Who's got more? Come on, who wants some?
Who is next?
Yeah. See, wow.
Yeah.
I agree. That looks amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. I mean, Reenie's got great line work, but again, see, the line work stands by itself, but then the colors come in and it adds so much more to it, Beautiful work.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That is awesome, dude. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Got it, man. It literally just came in, so I was like, this must be exclusive time.
That's right. Hell yeah. And we get to share it with you folks. So yeah. Thank Mr. Hervey for being so generous with the coolness.
No, appreciate it.
Yeah, dude, I'm so glad that you came to hang out, man. This campaign looks fantastic, dude.
Man, I appreciate you. It's just like I said. I mean, we were talking before. It's like, it's even as this kind of, in a certain regard, this whole kind of indie comic, I guess you would call it I guess you would call it kind of a renaissance right now. It's still relatively new.
I would, yeah.
But even with that though, a few years back, I mean, in the earlier days of it, I mean, that's when we really got to know each other. And it's like, things change, shows change, but you keep friends. And
that's right, man.
Just I'm watching everybody level up. I'm watching everybody step it up. And I just feel like everybody is pushing the envelope. Everybody's like, I'm taking my skills to the next level.
That's right.
And how fun is that?
Dude, it's amazing. I mean, I've been talking to Feline, and I keep telling her this is the beginning of something truly amazing.
Absolutely.
They keep calling us the Iron Age, and I'm all for it, man. Iron sharpens iron, steel sharpens steel.
Absolutely.
And we all just we keep getting better. I keep watching my friends level up and like putting books out and delivering on time, and just more and more quality entertainment is being put out.
Absolutely.
And it's amazing to see. And I fully agree, man. I do think we're in an indie comics renaissance.
I think we are.
I've always kind of, because over the years I've done so many different like book reports for school and research papers on comics and like where they came from, how they started, and everything like that. Indie comics always pushes the medium forward. They always push the medium forward.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely. It's a necessity.
It really is. You know, the mainstream gets stagnant, and then, you know, the indie scene blows up with some amazing stories, and there's like these indie superstars, and then the mainstream kind of comes crawling back and says, hey, you want to come work on these books? And I'm not sure it's going to happen like that this time. I think we might just be happy doing our own thing over here, you know, because why would you want to work on somebody else's stuff when you can own your own thing? You know, when you can be part of something, you know, new, something awesome, something that you have an actual stake in.
Exactly.
You know? Skin in the game, man.
We're all shareholders. We're all stakeholders in this. You know, and
Absolutely.
I'm just like, people are taking the time to build up their IP.
Yes.
You know, and we're getting distribution, and the distribution is really good, but this is just the tip of the iceberg. There are so many people. You know, because, you know, if you look at, you know, like ICV2 and things like that, you know, you think like, man, you know, there are no more comic book readers in America. You know, that's not
right.
That's far from the truth.
It really is, man.
People just aren't buying that.
Yeah, because I mean, why would we? Why would we? We're looking for entertainment, and they're not entertaining. You know, like who wants to go read a comic book where you're basically being lectured? Who wants to read a comic book where this one character is always correct about everything and never has to triumph over an obstacle? You know, there's no stakes. You know, it's all this flat line. It's a plateau, and nothing happens. Nothing of impact. Nothing of import. Nothing of value. It's just, you know. It's akin to a poorly written Saturday morning cartoon. You know how everything's got to go back to the status quo at the end, and nothing actually, you know, has any kind of impact.
There's no progress.
Yep. You know, good stories have a beginning, a middle, and an end. You know, and a lot of these stories just kind of meander. You know, and most of the time they meander through like a coffee shop where everybody sits down and eats and talks. You know, and you can do that. You can have characters sitting down, having a discussion and talking, but unfortunately, the artists don't vary up the shots. They don't change things. They don't make it visually interesting. Comics are a visual medium. You've got to do something to keep the reader visually interested. Otherwise, they're going to get bored.
Absolutely.
You know? They're not going to pay attention to the story. If you can keep them visually engaged, you can get them invested in the story that you are telling.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's interesting because the art is what's going to bring people to the table.
Yep.
You know, it doesn't matter how good your writing is. If the art isn't appealing, people won't come to the table. But the writing comes into play. It's like once you've got people in, they will not stay if the writing is subpar. They will not stay if you're not taking people on a journey.
That's correct.
And the funny thing is, a lot of what we're seeing in comics is the antithesis of what good writing is. Good writing, you know, people, you know, if all you can write is yourself in a book, you are not a writer. You're not a writer. All you're doing is like some fictional biography. That's all you're doing.
Yep.
You know,
and rife with self-insert characters these days in the mainstream, it seems.
Yeah. But I guarantee you that will pass because just because of this renaissance, really. You know, and I realize the companies are kicking and screaming, but they're going to continue to lose readership. People are going to continue to find us.
Yep.
And all of this is going to continue to grow. I mean, honestly, the biggest challenge we have right now, I mean, other than those companies, is just amongst ourselves. You know, it's just, you know, the rising tide, it does raise all ships.
I agree. You know? I 100% agree, man. You know, the more quality products we have over here, the more people are going to be paying attention, the more eyes are on this indie scene.
That's right.
And the more readers we can pick up. You know,
that's right.
mean, that's how it works. You know, you get the word out there. People, you know, if there's really good indie books over here, and you know somebody's got a taste for it, and they're hungry for more story, right? So they're looking around for more, you know, of what they just had. You know, maybe they don't have a new issue of this particular character, but they'll go over here and they'll see, oh, hey, let me check out this book. This cover is pretty interesting, and then they'll pick up a different book. It's still an indie book, and it gives them that same feeling because you've got a passionate writer that's got a good artist, and that synergy is working. That gestalt is kicking, man.
Gestalt.
Yeah,
That's
man.
That's
Dude,
exactly
I
what it
love
is.
this image right here. I probably told you that the last time I had you on.
Yeah.
But damn, that whole image right there is just so awesome.
So the very first campaign that I ran years back,
Yeah.
I was exceptionally. I had a big vision for Black Tiger. I actually, and funny, so Jason picked it up. I had a hardcover.
Yeah.
I had a hardcover version.
Oh, wow.
And this image was basically a 4-page wraparound. So you go the inside cover of the book to the inside front cover of the book to the back cover to the inside back cover.
Oh,
that was a wraparound.
Man. That's amazing, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a hell of an image, and it tells it even in this one single image here. There's a lot of story being told in this one single image, man. It's great.
Absolutely.
I love stuff like that. Because the storytelling has got to be there in the artwork and in the words.
Well, I think that's one of the biggest things as a writer. I remember I was on another show and somebody was asking me just kind of about the writing process. I mean, it's like you're always writing and rewriting, but also it's like, I like to fully script things out, so I don't really use the Marvel way. I script everything out and I write out what I want panel for panel. And it doesn't mean the artist does it that way. What it does is it gives the artist an idea of what I'm trying to do. Then the artist is like, okay, well, I see what you're trying to portray. Almost like a cinematographer, the artist is like, I got a better way to do that. Or, so it's like it gives the artist somewhere to go and just say, like, I see where you're trying to go. I see what you're trying to do, but I've got a better way to do it.
Yeah. You're given your vision of it, and that's a starting point, and then they can, expound upon that. I mean, that's what collaboration is, man,
Absolutely.
And when it's working, man, that collaboration, that back and forth, that give and take, because, you're both storytellers, and you're trying to put the best product out possible. You're trying to, give people the best entertainment possible.
That's right. And I know that
this whole scene was so fucking cool.
Yeah, man. You just got to have you got to have fun with these.
Yes. 100%, man.
This was kind of like a little Jackie Chan scene. She kicks the chairs to kick him away from the girl trying to stab him. I was like, okay, I'm getting a little, doing a lot with it, but I was like, this is fight choreography, It
totally is, man. And I could definitely tell you were having fun with this scene when I read it.
Man, I was on a Jackie Chan kick, bro. When I was writing that, I was like, I'm gonna do some Jackie Chan stuff over here.
Yeah, and this will always be one of my favorite images from this book. I mean, this whole page right here is just fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, and the crazy thing
every time I look at it, just blows me away.
The crazy thing about that page is when I scripted that page, it was probably 5 panels because there was a whole bunch of different things that I really wanted to focus in on, and then Rod came back and he's like, I can do all this in one image. I was like, double dare. And he was like, Yahtzee. You know what I mean? It's like, here you go.
Nice.
It's like, this is amazing. So whenever people say that, I'm like, yeah, I didn't script it that way, but it ends up being like the most well-known image from.
It's fucking striking, man. Like that is an impactful image right there.
Absolutely.
Like there's no denying that image, and it gives such a sense of scale,
Yes.
to that whole scene.
Yes.
Incredible. And again, this is the beauty. Malls. This is the beauty of the back and forth, like the collaboration, This is the beauty of having a good artist that knows how to tell a story visually.
Yeah. And you could see all the elements that I wanted. I wanted the artist to be able, I wanted the reader to be able to see that, man, this thing manifested from the ground up. As this thing manifested, people we're in that space. So like it rose and people rose up with it and they fell and they slid. They basically like a slide. They're sliding down this thing. They're falling. Just the absolute bedlam of this dragon, basically manifesting from the floor up. in this 4-story mall.
Yeah, man. And the way the body of the dragon just kind of guides the eye around, so you see everything.
Yeah.
You know, like starting up here, you know, like it guides the eye over here. You see this come back around to the face, and it comes down. It points. You see all these people over here. I mean, this is good visual storytelling right here, man. I absolutely love it. You know, and then you got these over here to add even more of that atmospheric perspective and depth. It's just it's good comic booking, man, as Kelsey would say.
It is good comic booking.
All right, so volume 2, the Reenie edition, is $25. Damn, you guys, only $25. That's 28% off. Y'all need to jump on that.
$5
right? You
get 88 pages of comic.
88 pages, man. Mm-hmm. That is a chunk of a book. How many pages? How many pages was in the first one?
172.
Yeah. Look at.
Yeah.
That's a thick boy.
Yeah. That one could stop bullets.
Yeah. I mean, you could knock somebody out with that one. There's a lot of good story in that book too. Trust me.
Yes.
And then so this one's going to be more along the lines of this one, of volume 2 or of volume 1.
Exactly.
The same
so
size.
Basically, exactly. So when you put those two together, you'll have the full story arc.
So is that going to be is this the end of Black Tiger, or is this just the end of this chapter of Black Tiger?
Just the end of this chapter.
Nice.
So she will be back. Just the end of the chapter, and you'll see that it's like, you know, you get some answers to some mysteries, but whole new Pandora's boxes are opened. So you know, and that's what makes comics fun. You know, you keep but also the character keeps developing. She keeps growing. So she's still on her journey of self-discovery. She's she's growing as the Black Tiger, and she's growing in her mission because you know, for those of you that haven't picked up Legacy of Fury, I mean, you know, her dad was a prior Black Tiger, so she now finds herself in a place where her family name has been discredited. Black Tiger has been discredited. Black Tiger was kind of like, you know, like a hub in the city that kept things, you know, from imploding. And now the city is imploding. Yeah. So she's you know, the city needs the Black Tiger.
Yeah. Yeah. And she's got to come to grips with that. You know, she's got to come to grips with, like, you know, the fact that she's actually needed as the Black Tiger. You know, and that's part of the hero's journey, right? You know, the refusal of the call to action, you know, and then finally they're like, "Yep, okay, fine. I accept my fate, and I'm going on this journey."
Exactly. Exactly. And that makes it fun.
It does, man. It does. Let's see. So
so there's 3 cover options. Viera edition, Rod Luper, and then of course the Reenie edition, or the 3 cover options for volume 2. And then volume 1 is just the Luper edition now. So like the one that you have, people are not going to be able to get that. That is that cover, man. I mean, that cover is gone. I mean, that thing's sold out.
I want to point out, like, one of the most brutal things that I think I've ever seen on a cover. Like, chick is literally like fish hook in her mouth. Yes. And just damn, that's just rude. It's just rude,
right? Like, darn bionic Russian chick.
I know.
She's giving her the bionic Russian, you know,
right? I mean, that chick's got the strength to, like, literally rip her face off, you know. Right? So that's a serious threat right there.
Yeah.
You know, and I love the fact that you got Greg Horn to do the front and back cover for Legacy of Fury.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, these are beautiful. I got to talk to Greg Horn down at MegaCon earlier this year, and it was a really, really great interview. He's such a cool dude. He's very down to earth, very chill. He saw my Icarus patch. I was wearing my battle vest, so he saw my Led Zeppelin Icarus patch. And so after the interview, he's like, "You know what? I got something for you, man. You seem to be a fan of Led Zeppelin. Check these out." And he showed me. Let's see if I got him here. He showed me the Venom cover that he did. I guess I put it somewhere else. He showed me the Venom cover that he did. It was an exclusive, and it was Eddie Brock flying with the symbiote as Icarus. and he did one as Venom, like fully Venom, and then one as Eddie Brock, and he literally gave me a copy of the Venom one and signed it for me. Yeah, dude, I was blown away and completely humbled by that. He had a good time with the interview, and that makes me super happy.
He's just such a good dude.
He really is, man. Oh, hey, we've got some original artwork here. Is that what this is?
There's a lot of original art here. It's a great way to support Rod. So the first set of pages are all pencils. So you can get his pencils for $300 a page, and his pencils are tight.
Those pencils are tight. Yeah, I mean, these are essentially pencils that are almost inks.
Exactly.
They're finished. Yeah, that's beautiful work, man. And he works all traditional.
He does. And then there's inked pages that he penciled and inked. And those are only $500. I mean, and this
that's a steal. I don't know if anybody's ever seen like how much his pages go for on the auctions, but that's a steal.
Well, whatever we don't sell, you'll see it on Shay and Sai's auction in April. And I guarantee you, won't be going under those pages. Won't be going under less than $1,000.
Be a lot more expensive. That's for sure. Oh man, I love seeing. I love seeing the pencils. I would almost love to see like a book of just the pencils. You know, because I mean, I love working with graphite. You know, pencils was my first medium, and it's only recently that I've really kind of fallen in love with inking. You know, like I love Crow Quill. As a matter of fact, two of my my favorite. Let me get my this right here is probably one of my my best weapons of choice when it comes to inking. Ooh. You know, so this is a Raphael number 3 that a customer up at the comic shop that I worked at in New Hampshire gave me, and I didn't really know how to use it until about 3 years ago when I started getting back into art, and I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna learn how to ink with a brush, and it kind of came to me naturally. You know, I love inking with a brush. You know, just
was that me, or did you cut out for a quick second? Oh, there we go.
No, that's me.
Okay.
My soundboard seems hang on me.
There it is.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's much better.
Yeah, my soundboard is kind of dying on me. I mean, to be fair, I bought it a while ago for $40 on Wish, and I would say that I have definitely gotten my $40 out of it.
You've depreciated that thing down to nothing. You've gotten your money out of it.
Dude, that's the board that I used to do the Sing Along a Doom with. You know, so I mean, I'm screaming into that thing. I would do open mic night on Dark Gifts channel, and I've blown this thing out a couple of times. Just my levels, it's nuts. Hey, we got a Billy Basco in the chat. What's going on, man? Welcome. How you doing?
In the house.
But yeah, the poor soundboard is probably dying, so I'm gonna have to look up a new one. But yeah, these are two of my favorite inking weapons of choice. Is a I think this is actually a Hunt 107. I prefer the 107 just because of the way it bounces, the spring back. Sometimes my the 102s that I've had, they're too loose. You know, they put out too much ink. This this has a little bit more of a spring, and it holds its shape a little bit better, so I can actually push down and control the ink. But yeah, man, I love the pencils though. I love seeing the original pencils. They're amazing.
Yeah, man, and just like you, I mean, it's like I love the art. I love the artistic process. You know, some of the pages I like looking at in all stages. Look at the pencils, look at the inks, then look at it with the colors layered on it. Yeah, man. But this book, I mean, you know, I'm praying that my writing's also improving, but everything about this story continues to escalate. Yeah. And everything, I mean, the presentation, I mean, if folks liked, if anyone enjoyed Legacy of Fury and the first volume of Hidden Dragon, are going to love this book. Yeah. I mean, I'm just like, wow. I mean, and Rod's art, he just keeps leveling up. He keeps leveling up. And I think it's one of those things too. It's like you start hitting a stride because we're basically in the equivalent of issues 10, 11, and 12 together. So
and that's usually when the team hits that stride.
Exactly.
Yep.
And it's like, it's funny. We have like a collective ownership of the property because like we all know. I mean, Rod knows Black Tiger. So one of the things you'll see in this issue is there were a number of things that Rod wanted to see that we did in here.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like when you get that feudal Japan scenario, and you've got these goblin warlocks and goblin goblin samurai, you could thank Rod for that. You know?
That's cool.
Yeah.
See, this is why it pays to have a good collaborator. You know,
Yes.
I love it, man, because you can throw these ideas back and forth and like, oh, this will fit really cool with the story, and I like this. How about that? Oh, dude, I really like that. Let's work this in here. You know, it's part of the creative process. I fucking love that, man.
Absolutely.
You know,
and it's kind of fun because you can go ahead.
Feline says, show the colored Rini piece again. Billy didn't get to see it.
Really didn't get to see that. So if you get the Rini cover.
These inked pages are fucking incredible. I love the balance of black and white on the inked pages.
Oh man,
y'all need to go check this out.
So let me.
And to quickly touch on your writing, because I read both of these all at once because I got them I got them together. I can definitely tell the story is getting tighter as it goes along. The dialogue is getting, the characters are becoming more fleshed out as you go along. You can definitely tell that you're really feeling these characters even more, and they're having, they were distinct to begin with, but they are really coming into their own as the story moves. So I dig it, man.
I appreciate that. They're really finding their own voice,
Yes.
and each of the characters, and that's part of the fun process. For me personally, I love comics and I love the progression. That's why I like seeing, if a team could stay on a book for a while and really, really let them get their rhythm, and really get ownership of the property that they're working on.
Yes.
Man.
Well, again, that skin in the game, man, passion about what you're making, So there it is. That is the colored Rini piece for the cover.
Literally just received it right before I went on the show. So this is an exclusive. Rini hasn't even seen this colored yet.
You're getting an exclusive sneak peek at the finished colored version of Rini's cover, and it looks phenomenal.
Absolutely.
Hey, Morb, this is actually the writer on the book that I'm working on.
Hey, Morb, how's it going?
Yeah, we're
Nice.
excited, man. Can't wait to show everybody what we've been working on. We got a pretty cool dark fantasy story for everybody.
Yeah, I got to get me a sneak peek.
Oh yeah. I got some cool stuff to show you. I got to show Luke Stone some of the pages that I was working on, and he was digging it, man. Very, very encouraging, man.
Nice.
Oh yeah, that's I mocked up a logo this weekend, so we're finalizing the logo for the book as well.
Ooh.
Oh, and there's the title. Yep. Okay, so Mercenary Guild is what the book is called. So you guys are getting all kinds of exclusives tonight on this show.
They didn't even know. People didn't even know.
Didn't even know. See, that's why it pays to come hang out on New Book Who Dis, especially when I got one of my oldest friends in this scene on the show.
I'm talking about, people. This is how we do it.
I'm so proud of you. And I'm one of those weirdos that really is proud of his friends when they succeed. I want to see my friends succeed. Every last one of them,
Man.
And I get excited for their success, because like you said, rising tide lifts all boats.
It really does. And we're just at the beginning of this renaissance.
We really are, man. This is the beginning of something amazing, and I can't wait to see where we are in the next 5 years, the next 10 years,
So I got connected with this one company. I want to say they're out of Arizona, and I want to say it. I don't want to butcher the name. I think it's Comics Momentum.
Okay.
Basically, this cat, he started putting comics in a whole bunch of different shops. So he basically, some mom and pop shops, some CBD stores, you name it, started putting spinner racks in these different shops throughout Arizona. And I said, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, I love the local comic book shop. I love it. But you're not going to introduce people to comics that way. You know what I mean? It's like, I got into comics because my mom would go to the local drugstore and I'd be with her, and then I would just sit there and I would read comics while she was getting her prescriptions or doing whatever she's doing. You know, so you need to have
comics. You know, like the top of the spinner rack, you know, try to get the kids to come over and check them out. Yeah.
Exactly. You know, so it's like he's having success now by putting spinner racks in different stores.
Yeah.
You know, and
dude, that's
and
great.
I think that's gonna be a part of this whole movement. I think there are gonna be folks that go just beyond the local comic shops, because local comic shops are great for the captive audience, but they don't do anything for bringing in new folks. Because my mom would never have taken me to a local comic shop. Not happening.
Well, I mean, and there's also kind of a stigma to a comic shop. And by the way, thank you, Morb. The fact that you're happy with what I've been showing you and what we've been putting together is the ultimate compliment, man. So thank you. But yeah, you know, there's a stigma to the comic shops. And the worst movie ever, you know, that kind of thing. And like the haughty elite nerds that, you know, oh, well, you don't know that Spider-Man, you know, was dating Gwen Stacy. Oh, I wanted to be the antithesis of that asshole in the comic shop. You know, like, you know, why are you invading my space? No. Come in, come hang out. I have cool shit to show you. Let me help you find a cool story. That was always my philosophy. When somebody asks a
question, you don't look down your nose at them.
Yeah. You explain, you know, you give information, you share you want people to be fucking excited about this shit, man.
Exactly.
Yep. And otherwise, why do they care? Why should they care? You know? Yep.
And that's the thing, is like the last thing you want to do is make it elitist.
No, screw being an elitist, man.
Yeah.
You know? All right, that's all you get of the exclusive cover. Y'all need to go get the book if you want to see more of it.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. But yeah, there's no point in being an elitist about this shit, man. Like if we want this medium to survive, we need these fucking black and white pages are gorgeous.
Yeah, man.
The circular perspective right here. Damn.
Rod went Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, dude, he's having fun. You can tell that he's having fun. He's enjoying what he's doing.
Absolutely.
You know?
But
you know what? This medium is going to survive.
Shame on us if we're making comics that aren't fun. Shame on us.
Right?
If we're making comics that are not fun.
I 100% agree, man. How is this medium going to survive if comics aren't fun? You know, if we aren't getting new readers in that are enjoying this and are passionate like we were, then how is this medium going to survive? Because at some point, there's going to be a point of diminishing returns for the current audience, because we can only buy so much, you know, and we can only support it for so long because, you know, human life is finite, you know. But if this medium is going to survive, I mean, comics will always be there, but if we're going to have a thriving, healthy comic book industry, these books have got to be fun. They've got to be entertaining. They've got to pull people in. They've got to build that passion that we had when we were kids. You know, that feeling of, I can't wait to get this next issue. Holy shit, I need to know what's going to happen in this story. I need to know what's going to happen to these characters. And that's what I feel when I read these books. You know, when I read Black Tiger, when I read Black Terror or Psycho Killers or the, you know, Kill Journal, you know, I want to know what's going to happen next, damn it. I need to know.
Absolutely.
So,
and that's how you know you're doing it well. That's how you know you're doing it right. You know, when people are clamoring for more, then you're just like, man, I can't produce it fast enough.
Exactly, man. You know, and you know, when you're writing and you're having fun doing it yourself, you know, because I can tell you're having fun writing these characters. It's coming through the page, and it's coming through Rod's artwork that he's having fun making this book as well, and that energy comes through, and it gets people excited about it, man. You know, I'm reading through, and I can't wait to see what happens next. I want to. Oh, damn it! It's done. What the hell? I need more. You know,
exactly.
So yeah. I'm super stoked, man. And 350 pages of story. That is huge.
Yeah.
So are you going to do like a big chonkin omnibus at some point?
I'm thinking maybe at some point. I was thinking maybe an omnibus. I was thinking maybe some kind of a compendium. Like I was throwing out like maybe so it's cheaper. Maybe doing like a black and white version.
Yeah.
You know, because the inks are amazing. So maybe doing a black and white version, and you know, a little bit, you know, paper that isn't like this is 100-pound paper. So like paper that is, you know, not cheaper, but just not as thick, you know, as that. So just to make something that is big, but can still be at a price, you know, that isn't out of this world.
Yeah. You know, so people can easily pick it up.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I mean, I would definitely pick up like a black and white compendium just to sit there and stare at the black and white inks. And again, the colors are fantastic in this book.
Yes.
But to be able to just sit there and appreciate the black and white line work, because you know that contrast, you know, the I don't know, there's something about it. I mean, I guess it's because I work with ink, and I'm used to like planning out a page, and you got to make sure that it all reads and there's a balance of black and white. I love seeing how other artists do it.
Yes.
It inspires me, and it helps me think in different directions. And I love that, man. I love it when comic books inspire me to be creative.
Exactly. And I think that's when the art is at its best. And all of us as writers or artists, I mean, it's like, you know, when we see something that is awesome, I mean, it's like we admire it, we take it in, and then hopefully you kind of increase your bag a little bit. You know, you're like, okay, well, you know what? Maybe it's time for me to, you know, add one more trick up my sleeve.
Right.
You know, and I think that's how we all grow. That's how we all get better. You know, I've been reading some of the books, and, you know, I saw more talking about Alterna. One of the things that I really appreciate about King Cryptid, and actually King Cryptid, just in the format of kind of how the stories are written, reminds me a lot of kind of like Stray Bullets.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Because the way David wrote those stories, it's like there is one big contiguous story, but each issue was like you could read that issue just in and of itself.
Self-contained story in each issue, right? Self-contained
story, and you would glean things about different characters, but it would be a self-contained story. But then when you put all the different pieces together, you realize you got this mosaic, and that spans time, that spans all these different things that are happening in this world, and you realize, like, man, I could read any particular issue. I could pick up issue 10 and be amused. But if I read the whole thing, it's like, man, this guy also showed up 5 years earlier in issue 2 and here and there. You realize, like, man, there is a master plan here. You know, for this property. You know,
love stuff like that.
I would never try to liken myself to Dave. That's a very high calling. But I definitely am thinking about, because right now I'm doing everything in larger story arcs, so 6-issue story arcs. So here you get, if you're in this campaign, you get all 6 issues of the Legacy of Fury story arc, and you can get all 6 issues of Hidden Dragon. But I'm thinking about doing some smaller snippets as well that are additive to the universe, but that people can pick up and just be like, man, you know, even if it is still an 88 pager, it'd be like an 88 page that is, you know, a complete story arc in and of itself.
Right.
You know, but it's additive to the rest of what's going on.
Yeah, it informs more of the world. No, I think that's a great idea, man. You know, because a lot of, because it's not, in some of the ongoing comics, it's not always just like, okay, there's this long, drawn out, you know, story arc. Sometimes it's just, you know, the quick little hit, you know, this one, you know, two issue story arc, 3 issue story arc, and it's just this quick little story, but it informs more of the world. I think that's a great idea, man. And it gives you little pieces of the world for people to jump in on, like a jumping on point. They don't have to have read all of the other stuff in order to enjoy this particular volume. And I think that's important. You know, it gives people a place to like get into the story. Because, you know, reading Marvel, you know, as a kid, these characters had like, you know, years and years, decades of history before I started reading them. So I got used to having to go back and look for, you know, older issues to get the story and whatnot. And so I think that's important, man. So I fully agree. How long do you think the Black Tiger story is? How long do you see it in your mind?
Well, here's the thing with Black Tiger. I already know kind of the finiteness of Jin Fong's run as the Black Tiger, because the power is something that it's been transferred generationally for thousands of years. So when you think of Black Tiger as a mantle, you know, it's very different. Like Batman as a mantle. I mean, different folks have had the mantle, but it's Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne is. It's
Bruce Wayne. Yeah. Yes. Captain America is Steve Rogers. You know.
Steve Rogers. Period.
Yeah.
You know, but
Barry
Black
Allen
Tiger
is the Flash. Yeah.
Yeah. Black Tiger is a power that's been handed down throughout the years, and Jin Fong is just the current wielder.
I mean, this story could go on for as long as you want.
So this story, I've got an arc for her run as the Black Tiger.
Yeah.
But I already know where we're going to go with the next person that will take up the mantle. And we're also want to start showing more about some of the previous wielders of the power.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool. You can go back in time with that.
That's why I'm beyond time, baby. You got to be able to, you know, because at the end of the day, I always knew that with these different stories, I got to give people a jumping on point.
Yeah.
But there's stories that predate this, and there's stories that come, you know, I mean, it's like there's some, you know, 1970s type kung fu stories with a Black Tiger that I want to be able to tell. There's some old Hong Kong style,
yes,
you know, Black Tiger stories that I want to be able to tell. And like Jin, I mean, she's the Black Tiger currently, but her run as the Black Tiger will end as well. And I've got another very interesting character that will pick up the mantle after her.
See, y'all heard it here. Y'all heard it here first, possibly. Yeah. There's a big future for Black Tiger.
You're the first person that asked.
Plenty of stories. Well, man, this is what I do, man. I'm curious. I want to know what's going on. I care about these characters. You made me care about these characters. It's your fault.
Hey, you know what? But that's what we all do as creators, right? I mean, we were talking about just those kind of books that left that imprint in your mind and even in your heart. And it started off with somebody that was writing something from their heart. Yes. You know, and they were writing a story that they loved about a character that they loved. And whether it was a triumph or it was a tragedy, it settled. It became a part of you. You're just like, oh my gosh. Or how awesome, or just like, I can't believe that happened. And you basically disconnect yourself from. And this is my main thing is once it's in print, it's canon. Yes. You know, because I can remember, you know, when during one of DC's kind of reboots and transitions, like, you know, I started taking an assessment. I was like, okay, so is Killing Joke still canon? Is this still canon? I'm like, oh, screw this. I'm like, screw this. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, it gets convoluted, you know? Yeah.
You know,
I don't know. When I first read Killing Joke, I was under the impression it was kind of like this outside the regular story, like the regular, you know, continuity of Batman. But then they brought it into continuity because they made her Oracle. They did a really cool thing with her, making her Oracle. They made her a different, unique character and almost an integral part of, you know, of Batman's crime fighting, you know, team. And then they completely took all of that away when they retconned her back to being able to walk.
Yeah.
And it's like all of that character development, all of that awesome, like outside the box thinking, like making her a unique, relatable, cool character, and they just threw it all away.
Yeah.
Why? It doesn't make sense.
And it's the inability to know when a story is finished or when a story has progressed. And it's almost a fear of being able to move forward. So it's funny, my wife and I, we were talking about the show Vikings, and I said, you know what? I said,
love that show.
What I appreciated most about that show is they made me, so you start off with characters that are so awesome. You know, I mean, it's like, you know, I mean, you've got Ragnar, you've got Lagertha, and then as the story progresses, Rollo. God,
man.
That was, and you realize, and you're like, how am I going to care about anything if these characters are gone?
Yeah.
They actually.
That's what happened to me.
They actually got me to stay on board after Ragnar died, after Lagertha died. And I know the series ended soon after. I said, but you know what? I said, but they did something that is brave, because they knew that the story had an arc.
Yeah.
And they went with the arc, and then they kept it moving.
Yeah.
And that's not, I think, always an easy thing for creators to do.
Definitely. You get comfortable and, you know, well, what if they don't like this? You know, what if they don't like, you know, what if they don't continue watching or reading because this character is gone? I mean, but you got to make all of your characters compelling. You've got to make all of them fully fleshed out. You know, it can't just be, you know, your one little prize character that you trot around. All of the characters, the world has to feel real. It's got to feel lived in, you know?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And I agree. I really, really liked Ragnar, and I knew from history that he was gonna die, but you know, after that, I will admit I kind of slacked off watching. I need to go back and just finish the series. You know,
it goes. So the thing is this: the good thing is they realize that if the presence and the power that Ragnar brought, I mean, it's like it was gone. So they didn't try to make. You know, they didn't try to make Bjorn Ragnar 2 or anything like that. They realized, you know, it's like, okay, well, now you got to go into a different direction with different set of characters. Yeah. I'll give you examples where I thought that could have worked in American comics. When Marvel first released the New Mutants, I was excited, and I remember me and a buddy went to. It was more of a bookstore, but it was kind of converting into a comic shop because, like, all the stuff in the front. It was called Book Village. Everything in the front.
Nice.
Comics, and I'd never seen so many comics in my life. I mean, because it's like, you know, it wasn't the spinner racks anymore. I mean, it's like they had these big wooden bins and just comics. And I was just like,
comics as far as the eye can see.
I was like, this is like comic book heaven. You know. And I remember when New Mutants came out, and me and my buddy were just like, we picked up issue number 1. And we said, this is the X-Men for our generation. You know? Yeah. And that's the direction they started to go. But it's like, you know, instead of having basically an X-Men for our generation, you end up kind of stockpiling all this stuff, and nobody grows. People just kind of, they get, you know, they don't develop. So it's like you've got the X-Men, you've got different versions of the X-Men, and now you've got the New Mutants, and all this. It's like a big congestion. And I'll tell you another time when I thought it was going to work was actually when Dick Grayson became Batman. Dick Grayson became Batman, and I wasn't reading it with consistency, but when Dick Grayson became Batman and then Damian was Robin, I was like, you know what? This is a new Batman. Yeah.
Different
you know what I mean?
Batman.
This is a different type of Batman with a different kind of Robin under him. I was like, what a great progression, you know, for a generation to be like, oh yeah, Batman, Dick Grayson.
Right.
You know, but that was all very short-lived. And then, you know, Bruce Wayne came back. And I'm not.
The classics always come back.
It is what it is.
Yeah, totally.
You know, it is what it is. I guess my thoughts are just like I like, one of the things that I like about manga is that stories have an arc.
Yes.
And then when they need to end, they end.
Yeah, that is very true. That is very true. I think that's probably the double-edged sword of the way most American comics, especially in the mainstream, are told, is that, you know, the characters just go on perpetually. And they do try to switch it up, and very often, you know, sometimes the fans are like, "Yeah, no," but like you said, when it's well done, though, it works. Yeah. You know, because Barry wasn't the original Flash. You know, you had Jay Garrick as the original Flash, And then we got an updated version of him in the 70s, you know?
That's right.
Yep. So I mean, sometimes it works, but you have to have a competent writer that knows how to handle it and that can usher this new character in and introduce him to the readers and be like, hey, check this out. This is a new spin on it.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting though. Everybody's, you know, we're all in this mode of creating, and I really think this revolution, this renaissance, is going to afford people opportunities. And, you know, even some of the properties that I'm seeing, I mean, it's like characters are starting to mature. It's just like, so what do you do now? You know, you're beyond the honeymoon part. You know, you're starting to get further down the road in your stories. So what happens?
This is when real life sets in, you know, like the actual day-to-day.
Exactly. So
Norm says, in the 80s, every comic was great. So many think there was no room for indies. The TMNT came along. Yep, that's right. So greatness rises at the top. Yep, Mercenary Guild. Yeah, that's what we doing, man. But yeah, speaking of Ninja Turtles, I mean, we were talking earlier how the indie scene always pushes the medium forward. Ninja Turtles, you know, just a black and white indie comic, and nobody thought anything of it, and then boom, one of the biggest IPs to ever exist, and it's still popular to this day.
Yes.
You know, and a few years down the road, we got The Crow, another huge IP that's still popular to this day. People still love. I actually have my original first printing of the kitchen sink graphics volume of The Crow. Man, that rolled into the comic shop, and I had a hard time waiting the entire day not to buy that thing. I was terrified somebody was going to come in and buy it before I could, because that was the rule that I put on myself.
That's when you
know,
stash it somewhere.
Well, see, that's the thing. I figured I work at the comic shop. I have this opportunity to buy things all the time. I will wait until the end of the day, and if nobody buys it by then, it's coming home with me. You know, I always wanted to give the customers a fair shot at getting the stuff, because, you know, I have a little bit of an unfair advantage. And, you know, the universe blessed me with being able to pick it up that day. And
that's amazing.
Man, I'm super happy. And it's in remarkably good shape too.
Oh,
what's
good
up,
for you,
American
man.
Comics? Yeah.
American Comics in the house.
As a matter of fact, let's see, where are you at? Yeah, hang on. Let me grab it real quick.
Yeah, grab that bad boy. That's definitely worth seeing. It's good to see you too, American Comics. Appreciate you.
Yeah, this comic is one of my favorites. I got it up there on the top shelf with all my old Poison Elves comics. I don't know if you ever read Poison Elves back in the day by Drew Hayes.
Yes.
Yeah, I absolutely love that book. But
look
yeah.
At that, man. Golly, look at that.
Right? Minimal scratches on the spine. No, the corners are just damn near pristine. There's only a small little scuff on here on the front. But yeah, man, the pages are solid inside. It is a beautiful book, and I was so lucky. So lucky.
Man, that is amazing.
Right? But we've been going for an hour and 38 minutes, man. I honestly, we could keep talking for another 2 hours probably.
Well, you know, hey, there were times when we were on the show with Shay.
On Writing Pros, yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, I think that show was technically only supposed to go for like an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and we ended up going for like 3 hours sometimes.
3 hours, and then we chat like for another hour, like after the show was off. I remember one time, like I left and went and ate and came back. You know, I was like, I'm too hungry.
I need to go eat something. I popped back in just to see if you guys were still here, and here you are.
Exactly.
Yep. Let's see. And when we bought comics in the 80s, they were 75 cents. We got our titles, and TMNT and Green Arrow Longbow Hunters were on the back burner, but I got them. Yeah. The thing about it back then, man, there was a lot of passion to make these comics. There were a lot of people that were actually, you know, they were all about making good books. And, you know, that's what you're finding in this indie scene now. Absolutely. You've got people passionate about making good books and working with quality people, you know. So this is the Iron Age. This is what we do. We create quality. Man. You know, I mean, it's like we've been at this for a while, Luke, all of us together. You know, we're building relationships, building friendships, you know, so it's just like, absolutely.
Like I told you coming on this stream, it's like I feel this feels more like a homecoming to me. It's like you kind of make the tour, you get on channels with your friends, because everybody's progressing, everybody's doing new stuff.
Yep.
You know, just even in the course of like 3 or 4 years. I mean, everybody's moved on and doing, you know, bigger things and more things, and I'm just like, how exciting is this?
It's so amazing to see. Yeah. It is amazing to see, and you know it's because everybody's passionate about what they're doing. They're excited, man. They want to do new things, and yeah, these streams like these are like, you know, just hanging out with your buddy, you know, shooting the shit about comics, and oh, dude, by the way, I'm doing this. Check this out. This is what I'm working on. Damn, dude, that's fucking cool. You know, and I don't work in the comic shop anymore, so when I get a chance to like nerd out like this, I fucking love it. I need this, you know, I need this, man. I need to be able to nerd out with my friends about comics. And so this is fantastic, man.
No, my wife,
real relationships and friendships are a major key.
My wife's like, go hang out with your people for a while. I'm like, that's exactly what I'm going to go do.
Exactly. What she gets it. She gets it, man.
She knows what's up. Yeah. She's like, I got to go. She's like, sometimes you're talking a different language. I'm like, well, it can be. You know, I mean,
absolutely.
We're all heavily invested.
We are.
You know?
But that's why we care so much. You know, we're all heavily invested with this. This means something to us, man.
Absolutely. You know? And that's why I love picking up people's books. And you know, anything you make, I'm going to be there. I remember one of the first times, like I saw you just kind of drawing, like you were just kind of sketching on the writer show, and I was like, dang, Luke could draw, bro. You know, you were just kind of getting back into it. I was like, man, this dude's got skills.
You know what's funny, man? This weekend, I posted a picture that popped up on my Facebook, and it was one of the first images that I did on Topic List, the show that Jason and I do. We've been doing that show for 3 years now. One of the first images I drew was like a skeleton busting out of the ground, and I mean, I guess it was kind of figurative of me breaking out from underneath the pile of self-doubt and bullshit that I was in. But this weekend at Ancient City Con, I sold that piece to somebody who absolutely loved it. And not only that, she went and told her friends to come over and check out my original artwork, and then they bought a Scud, the disposable assassin I did for Do You Even Read that I do with ink spots. So
dude,
I mean,
that's what I'm talking about, brother.
That just, I mean, I was blown away. I was so incredibly thankful and happy that I started doing this. I started drawing again. I said fuck it to all that self-doubt.
That's right.
And that was one of the things I said on the panel is, you know, don't let, you know, because when you're in a creative sphere, there's always egos. You're always going to run into egos.
Absolutely.
Don't let somebody's, you know, overbearing ego stop you from doing what you love to do. Don't let anybody tell you that you know you're not good enough to do what you want to do. If you're willing to work at it and get better and are honest about what you're working on, you'll get there.
That's right.
And I'm living proof of that. You know, 3 years ago, I didn't think I would ever get the chance to be working on a comic book, and now I'm penciling a comic book. I'm just about done with the pencils for pages 1 through 19. I've got the first page fully inked, and I've got 4 more to get done for the prologue. And we're moving along, man. You know, and it's incredible, and it's because I got to be in this scene. I got to be around all these creative people. I got to meet people like you, man. And be inspired by my friends. I'm serious, man. I love seeing my friends succeed. I love seeing my friends doing cool shit. It inspires me to do cool shit. You know, all my friends are getting better. All these people that I know are sharpening their skills. Hell, if I'm not going to get left behind, I got to sharpen my skills too. I got to run with the pack, man. You know, I got to be good. I got to sharpen these skills.
The only way you're going to do it is by getting in the game and by doing it.
That's right.
It's funny. Right. Somebody was asking me about, oh man, you know, it's like I see the progression of your story. You know, are you ever, you ever feel like, man, I wish I could go back and rewrite Legacy of Fury or whatever? And I'm like, no. I said, as somebody that loves comics, I was like, I love character development. I said, but I also love when I'm reading a series and a team is on it, and I'm like, oh, the team is catching their groove now. Okay, now they're catching their groove. You know, and it's like if you're somebody that truly understands and loves the art, you know, you love it when you see a team just growing and getting better. You're like, oh, this is what I'm talking about, you know, because then you know then the next volume or the next issue is going to be even better. It's going to it's going to keep getting better, you know, and to me, I'm like, that's part of the fun of picking up a book.
Yeah, it is.
You know, it's like, I know this
better.
guy, I know this guy or this gal is going to put their best foot forward every time.
Because they care. They're passionate about it. It means something to them. And I know we've said this about the mainstream before, but it really doesn't feel like the current creative crop they don't seem to care. But that's okay, because we care over here, and we've got the good stories over here.
We do.
You know?
And let me tell you, all of these things, they will be revealed. Yeah. It all comes to light. You know, when people are telling stories and they're just doing it, and I'm not saying you shouldn't get paid. You should get paid. But if you're doing it with no love for the stuff the content, and, you know, I'm like, it's so see-through. You see it, you see that, and you're just like, I'm not spending my money on this passionless drill.
Yep. And that lack of passion always comes through, no matter what. Always. No matter what. Always comes through. You know? Hey, what's up, Art of Roy? Welcome. Good to see you, man.
What's going on, Art of Roy? Appreciate you swinging through. But, man, I appreciate
incredible,
you.
Man.
You're my dude anyway. You know that. You know.
Right. Say right back at you, brother. Always. You know you are always welcome to come hang out on this show anytime you got something. Hell, man, even if you want to come. Actually, the next time Inkspots and I do a Do You Even Read, I'll let you know what we're going to be going over. And come hang out with us and talk comics, dude. You know you're. Let me know,
man. Hey, man, because you know that's my sweet spot right there.
Yeah. Well, as a matter of fact, everybody should go subscribe to John's YouTube channel. He's criminally undersubbed. And he and Adam Lawson do a fucking great show where they talk about what's cool. Like, y'all need to check that show out. I actually have a list.
That's rad.
That's rad. Yeah.
All we do is talk about things that we think are rad. That's it. Yeah.
And see, that's what we should do. We should talk about the things that we love, that we are passionate about. You know, too much of YouTube is talking about all the stuff that is wrong and the stuff that we hate, but I'd rather boost the signal of stuff that I love, you know?
That's right.
Stuff that I love, like Black Tiger. Y'all need to go get this book. Go support my buddy John. You will not regret it. You're gonna love this book. But is there anything else you want to say about Black Tiger before we wrap it up, man?
No, I just wanted to tell you, just like you said, if you're new to Black Tiger, you can get almost 350 pages of Black Tiger between Legacy of Fury and the 2 volumes of Hidden Dragon.
It's so good.
It's just like everybody here, just like the work that my man Luke is doing. It's a passion project, and you know, 110% on all levels, at every level, the art, the writing, everything.
I mean, you saw the campaign, you saw the artwork, man, and you've heard John talk about how much this story means to him. You can hear the passion coming through in his voice. So. Thank you, Feline. I appreciate that. Go subscribe to John. He is criminally undersubbed, man. And That's Rad is a fucking great show. Y'all need to go check it out. But, John, thank you so much, brother. I always have a blast talking with you. And everybody in chat, remember, you're most welcome, brother. And remember, everybody.
Shop smart, shop S-Mart.